Cedar Point, the world-renowned amusement park in Sandusky, Ohio. A few weeks ago, I visited for the first time, and I really liked the park and all of its coasters. But today, I'm going to be counting down the top 10 coasters in the park, and I'll be giving you in-depth thoughts on each of the top 10 coasters. Hello guys, it's Zero G Coasters. Welcome back to another video. If you guys like my channel, then please consider subscribing. We're on the road to 100 and we're about 15 subs away in the making of this video. So subscribing would really help me out so we could get to that goal faster. Also keep in mind, I did not get to ride Gatekeeper because the chain snapped. Anyways, let's just get into the ranking. Number 10, Ruguru, a B&M floorless coaster. So this ride is actually decent for me. Most people consider this the worst floorless coaster, and while I do agree, this ride actually surprised me. The drop gave good airtime in the back, the loop was nice and forceful, and some of the inversions were really nice. One of my complaints about the ride though is that it gives a bit of headbanging towards the end of the ride with the rapid fire transitions, but really nothing to completely complain about, just a nice, fun, classic B&M looper. Number 9, Wicked Twister, an intimate impulse coaster. This is the world's largest impulse, because we're not going to care about that random new intimate in the middle of nowhere, China, because none of us are going to get out to it. But anyways, Wicked Twister has a decent launch, and the spikes were very funny. And since I sat towards the front, the first spike was better, but the back spike, just because obviously you're going to be at the bottom of that, it's not that fun. It really depends on where you sit, and if you really want the best of both spikes, I would say just sit in the middle. But overall, it's a really fun ride, and it cracks the top 10. Number 8, Gemini, a dueling arrow hybrid coaster. Gemini is a really fun ride. I think it naturally gets buried in Cedar Point's lineup, and it's very underrated. So, I like to praise the ride. It gives very good floater airtime pops, and there is one moment at the very end of the ride, the final helix, that gives a off of really nice intensity. And overall, Gemini's a really fun ride that I seriously think needs to get talked about more in the coaster community. Number 7, VALRAVN, a B&M dive coaster. This ride gets a lot of hate for having vest restraints and the vest restraints being really restrictive. But I actually got a lot of room with these vest restraints, and I did get a decent pop of floater airtime on the drop. I really like the 0G roll towards the end of the ride, and the ride overall is just very fun. It's not the most forceful ride in the world, it's just a good classic fun dive coaster that isn't classic because it's new. Number 6, Magnum XL200, an aero hypercoaster. Now we're down to the top 6, and taking number 6 is Magnum XL200. I originally had this at number 5, but a few bad rides got me bringing it up to number 6. This ride gets some hate and gets some really positive reception. It's just very polarizing, but I really like the ride. And if you sit in the magic seat, car 1, row 3, you will get some insane ejector airtime on the return run coming back. Those triangle hills are so good airtime, it's painful. And like Gemini, it has those very, very, very restrictive lap bars, but it's really a sacrifice for the great airtime that you will get when you ride Magnum. It's seriously a great ride, and you do not want to miss out on it when you go to Cedar Point. We are now down to our top 5, and at number 5 is Raptor, a B&M invert. This ride I really wasn't impressed with, but I have it at number 5 because it's really intense. I mean, the first drop is incredible for an invert. It's like not as good as Alpengeist, but it's great. I love the drop. It has some whip to it, and it gives some good stomach drop for some reason. The vertical loop is nice and intense, and you know I'm a sucker for 0G rolls if you watch my channel, so that 0G roll is great. The Cobra roll may be a little janky, but who cares? It's really kind of a filler element for me, but the final helix finale is absolutely incredible, and the mid-course didn't hit super hard on our ride, so I was able to get the full power and intensity of it. Overall, Raptor is a really good B&M invert, even though I think it is a slight bit overrated. Number 4 is Millennium Force, an intimate giga coaster. Millennium Force is Millennium Force full. It is not forceless. I know people say that, but it has a decent amount of force to it. I really like the overbank before the brake run at the very end when you pass by the queue line with all the riders waiting in 2-hour lines, and you also have that very nice airtime moment towards the end of the ride that gives some great floater. The drop is absolutely amazing, and going up that lift till you get stunning views of Sandusky and the rest of the park. Overall, Millennium Force is Millennium Forceful, and although it is a little weak during some of the mid moments through the ride, it's a really fun ride, and I think it deserves a top 5 spot. Number 3, Top Thrill Dragster, an intimate accelerator. A Top Thrill Dragster is an absolutely insane ride. It has the best launch I've ever experienced, going 0 to 120 within 4 seconds. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It takes your breath away every time you ride it, and with only a T-bar, you feel super exposed. And if the ride is running good that day, you can fly over the top hat and get a great pop of floater airtime. But the reason it's not higher is because it's super short. It's literally 17 seconds long. But those 17 seconds are insane. I can think of it as like an energy drink. As soon as you drink it, you just go crazy and you feel hyped. And after just a tiny bit of time, you just kind of calm back down. That's how I can describe it. Number 2, Maverick, an intimate blitz coaster. This ride is just pure amazing. The launch lift is great, and then the drop in the back row is absolutely insane. Going over 95 degrees at only 100 feet, it's absolutely great. The rapid fire transitions are fun. It's like a mini I-305 for me, but it's a better ride than I-305. And you have that twisted horseshoe roll, which is absolute perfection. The second launch is super forceful, and the rapid fire transitions after the second launch are great. The wave turn to the right of the drop is absolutely amazing, and my favorite part of the ride is either the drop or the element that comes after that wave turn, the stangle dive. You absolutely fly through that stangle dive, and it's super intense. Oh, and did I mention the airtime moments? Even though Maverick has a very restrictive lap bar, there is some insane airtime on this ride. There's a camelback during the start of the ride that absolutely ejects you, and then there's one bunny hill right before the final brake run that also ejects you. Overall, it's an incredible ride, and I think it is one of the best coasters in the world. And number 1 is obviously Steel Vengeance. I didn't even have to have an introduction to it because you obviously know. If you always watch my channel, then you know how much I love Steel Vengeance. Steel Vengeance is just perfection for me. It has airtime, inversions, it has a great drop. The restraints might not be the best, but really, who cares, because you can still have great airtime from it. The shin guards did beat me up on my first ride, and I really actually thought it would be worse than Fury and worse than Lightning Rod on my first ride. But the thing that really sold me in for my number 1 coaster being Steel Vengeance are night rides. You have to ride Steel Vengeance at night. It's truly a stunning experience that I will never forget ever again. It is absolutely insane, and the mid-course can be off part of the times, so you can absolutely fly through the second half. And it flies already if the trims hit in the second half, so like, it's absolutely incredible, and night rides are great. But if you don't have time for a night ride, literally just ride it and you'll see how good it is. One thing I do not suggest doing is riding it in the beginning of the day, because I did get a pretty slow ride on it. But overall, Steel Vengeance is my number 1 coaster, and it is probably gonna be my number 1 coaster for years to come. Anyways, that's gonna be doing it for the list. If you guys enjoyed them, please consider subscribing. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, then please consider subscribing. It would really help me out on my goal to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, or even just smashing a like would really help me out. But anyways, this is Zero G Coasters. Thanks for watching. See you guys, and keep on riding.